In this video, we are going to find the countries where the telecom companies can invest based on the call duration. Hello, this is Jagan from Grow with Data. I am posting this video to share my knowledge in SQL with you. If this assists you in your interview preparation anyways, I will be happy. Welcome to the 26th video of our Advanced SQL 50 Interview Question series. We have different topics to cover and we are now in the last example of the sorting and grouping related question. This video will be tagged in Advanced SQL 50 Questions playlist and the code we discuss in this video will be uploaded to the GitHub. The link for the GitHub page will be in the video description part. Now let's see the data set first and we can talk about the question in detail. So we are given three tables. First one is the person, the other one is the country, and then the calls. Let's create the table and see the data first. And I'm using mysql for this example. And this coder pad is going to have multiple databases. If you want to try other database, you can just go and change the language and select other databases. Okay, now we have three tables and we can talk about the tables in detail. So the first table is the person table. Select star from the person. So here we got the person ID and what is the name of the person, what is their phone number, right? So we have number 3 who is Jonathan. We got the phone number as 051 and the number. So the first 3 digit is the country code. For India it's 91, for US it's 1. Same way you have different country code for the 3 or 6 different users, right? So that's the first table. The second table is going to be the country. So country is going to show you what is the country code and what is the country name from country. So if you see this based on the country code, like here it's 051, right? So that is for Peru, and 212 is for Morocco, and 972 is for Israel, and we have German and Ethiopia. So that's for the country table. The third one is the transaction table, which is going to store the call details. So if you see here, it shows the caller ID and the callee ID. Means the user 1 calls user 9 and they spoke for 33 minutes, and the user 2 spoke to user 9 for 4 minutes. So whoever is called is in the first column, whoever received the call is in the second column. So what they are asking us to do is we have to report the country which got the more call duration. So if you see the caller ID, let's go to this example. So if you see this, for example, Jonathan and Elvis, right? They have the phone number starting with 051, which is for Peru. So if you see the user 1, Monsef, he got the country code 212. 212 is for Morocco. If you see the call details, the caller ID is 1. That means the user 1, Monsef, called user 9, Rachel, and user 1 called the user 2, and user 7 is Mayor called Monsef, and user 1 calls user 7. So if the call related to user 1 is in 4 transactions or 4 call logs, and if you see the duration for 1 to 9 it's 33 minutes, and 1 to 2 it's 59, and 7 calling 1 it's 2003 minutes, and 1 calling 7 it's 2007 minutes. So overall the call duration for user 1, which is the country 2 and 2's Morocco, is 4102 minutes. And if you see any other user in Morocco, yes, user 2. So user 2 is here, right? So user 2 got different calls, 1 and here 2 calls, right? So you have to know 2004 and 59 is the duration for user 2, so which is going to be 2063 minutes. So overall, the country Morocco got 4000 plus 2000, so 6165 minutes. Same way, you have to find the call duration for all the countries and see whichever country is having the average call greater than the overall duration of the average calls, right? So we have to find the overall average call duration and check for every country what is the average call duration. If the every country's average call duration is greater than the overall call duration, then the telecom companies are interested in invest in those countries. So what they are asking us to do is find all the countries whose average call duration is greater than the overall call duration, right? So that is the question. So here we have to find the countries where telecom can invest based on the call duration, which is the average call of each country is greater than the overall average call. Okay, now let's see how to approach that. First thing is, how will you connect these three tables, right? So if I have a call duration, right, for one, it can be a caller ID, it can be a callee ID. So first thing is, I have to make this data set to make sure I get all the caller, whether he is a caller ID or a callee ID, get all the users and see how much duration each user owns, whether he can receive the call or he can just call and talk, right? So whatever be the time, first thing is we have to find the, for every user how much minutes are related, and then we have to find what is their phone number. So I have to connect the calls table with the, so this is a calls table, right? So I can just say this is the calls table which goes the center, and this is going to be the which persons table. So the persons table, and from once I get the number, I have to get the country code from that number and see which country it is, right? CO, which country it is, and then I have to find for every country's average whether that average is greater than the overall average. So that's how we connect the tables. So get the ID, connect to the person's table, get the phone number, from the phone number get the country code and connect to the country. So that's how the flow goes. Let's see how to do that in a SQL format. First, we have to get for every user what is the call duration. So caller ID as ID, and then I need to get the duration from the calls table. So this will give me all the caller ID things first column and then the duration. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the callee ID as ID and duration from calls. So for example, I can just have a filter where caller ID equal to 1, where callee ID equal to 1. If I run this, I will get all this 33, 59, 7 and 3. See, 33, 59, oh, 2003, 2007, right? It's not 2003. Oh, okay, the number changes. So the numbers are here 5, 13, 3, 1, 7. Okay, let's get so 33, 4, 59, 102, 30, and this one is 5, and this one is 13, and this one is 3, and this one is 1 and 7. Okay, so the number changes 33, 59, this is going to be 3, and this is going to be 7, and this one is going to be 4 and 59. Okay, so this is the call duration. Great. Now I have to find how to change this. Okay, so I got 33, 59, 7 and 3. So it's 33, 59, 7 and 3. I got all the 4 calls. So now I have to get all the users. So I just disable this. Okay. Now if I run this, I get for all the users, the caller and callee comes in the ID column and the duration is duplicated. Okay. So now I create this as a CT table with all calls as, so I bring in here. Now I have to know how to connect these 3 tables. Calls goes to person and then goes to country. Let's see how to do that. Select from the all calls, right, where you have all the call details as a inner join person table. Let's p on p dot id equal to a dot id, right? So here I put the call name as id, right? The caller id and callee id. So id connects with the person's id table. So that works. So in this one I can just say a dot id, and then the person's table I can get the name, so p dot name, and then I get p dot phone number. So now I get for this id the name, what is the phone number, and I need a duration basically. So a dot duration. So I get that information. So I get the name, phone number, which I don't want, right? I need only the country and the duration of it. Okay, but anyways, we go to the next join, inner join country, which is C on. So the country code links with the first 3 digit of the phone number, right? Phone number. Okay, so what I'm going to do is C dot country code equal to the phone number p dot phone, phone number. So first 3 digit, right? So first 3 digit of the phone number connects with the country code. From the country code I can just get C dot name as country. So if I run this, now I have for the user ID or the user name, what is the phone number, what is the duration, and what is the country, right? So this is a basic SQL. Now if I want to get only the country name and the duration, then I can simply get these 2 columns. Okay? I can get the country name followed by the duration. I need only these 2, but we have multiple records, right? So I can bring it in 1. We get the average time, so I can take the average part of it. Since the aggregation function, I simply say group by 1. Now I see for every country what is the average. So what I have to do for this average, for every country's average, it should be greater than the overall average, right? So for that, what I should do for this average, I say having this average of each country should be greater than select the average of the duration from all calls, right? So whatever the duration we have, if that average on each country is greater than the overall average, then you bring me the country. So Peru is the only country which got the 145. So let's get the data and see. So this is for every country, right? 145, 27 and 29. So what is the overall average? We can just decide this, say select country. So it's 55, right? So whichever is 50 greater than 55. So Morocco is 27, Israel is 9, only Peru is greater than the overall average of 55. So you get Peru. So that is what is showing up here, right? You get only Peru. And we need only the country, we don't need the average time. So we can just remove this and we show only the country. So this is the basic way of expressing the sorting and grouping the part. Now, how to use the Windows function here? Okay, so we have the CT table as such, right? With all the calls. Here, I use the country and then I took the average, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So I did country and I did the average part, right? So average of duration as average duration. So this is based on every country. So group by. Okay. So here all calls a comma. Okay. So here we got the every country what is the average duration. Now if you want to change this as the Windows function, right? So I want to get the overall average. So I just say average of duration over, I don't have to partition by country, right? I can get based on the overall average. So I don't have to put any partition or any order by, as overall average. Overall average group by 1. We go here. Oh, there's a comma here. I just remove this. We do 2 count group by overall average. Something is wrong. Let me first try to get this. Okay. Now for every country, I get the overall average. Remember, when you run only the average, you get 55.7, right? So that is the overall average. Now if I want to get the partition based on the country, then I can just say average of duration over partition by c dot name as country average. So comma. So here you see for every country what is the average and the overall average. We say distinct, I get the country and what is the overall average and what is the country average. So if I have a snowflake, I can simply say qualify the country average is greater than the overall average, right? So that will finish this part. But since MySQL don't have the qualify function, I am going to create this as the secondary CT table. So this, I say average duration check as, I go with this. So instead of qualify, I have to say select from this where the country average is greater than the overall average. So what I need the country name. So I get Peru. So basically, when you write a direct SQL average, main thing is you have to bring in the caller ID and the callee ID in one column and get the duration for every user. And then you have to know how to connect between the tables. So the caller table, you get all calls, and then the person table connects with the ID column, and the country table connects with the country code and the first 3 digit of the phone number. So once you have this, then you have to check the average duration is greater than the overall average duration. So instead of getting that, if I use a Windows function, I can just do a partition part. So since I want the overall average, I don't have to do any partition or order by. Directly get over, so it gives you the overall average. But if you want a country level average, then I use the partition by the country name. So you get both the overall average as well as the country average. Since we use MySQL, there is no qualify function, so we create that as a CTE table, and then we say the country average is greater than the overall average. So Windows function mainly get used if you want to compare all the values side by side, right? It's very easy when you use the Windows function. So if you want to practice all this code, then all these videos will be in the advanced SQL 50 questions playlist, and every video will have its description where you have the GitHub link. It will take you to the code base for that video. So this one we are talking about is the 26th video. So they will have this create statement, the 3 tables, and then the step-by-step process we did, right? How to connect the table and how to get the country and the average, and how you filter based on the averages greater than overall average, and how you use the Windows function. So all this code you can use for your practice. If you want to join the WhatsApp channel, there's a link here. You can use this and join Growth Data WhatsApp channel. Hope you like this video, and thanks for watching.